Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a review of Verity by Colleen Hoover. So this will have a non-spoiler section, and then I'll give you a warning and I will give you my spoilery thoughts as well. And oh my gosh, I am shocked. I literally finished this 2 seconds ago and I'm in shock. So let me get my thoughts together and let's talk about it. Verity by Colleen Hoover is a thriller, romance thriller. It is, I think, the only thriller that she has written, and it was crazy. I gave it 5 stars. So good. I could not put it down. I read the first 50 pages of it last night, and I really needed to go to bed, so I was like, I'll stop. And then I literally just finished it in one day, today, because I could not put it down. So, Verity is about Verity Crawford, who is an author and she writes thrillers. She has been in a horrible accident, and so she can't finish her series, and so they hire Lo and Ashley to come finish writing them for her. And so she goes to the Crawford home to go through Verity's things and try to finish these books. She needs the money, and so she agrees to do it. So as Lowen is going through Verity's things to see if she has any outlines, she finds a manuscript of an autobiography that Verity was writing, and she reads it night after night, and she reads some really horrifying things about Verity and their family, and then she kind of gets in this conflict about whether or not she should tell Jeremy about this manuscript, because she thinks, if he hears this, how could he ever love his wife? That sort of thing. And so that's kind of what it's about. Almost every chapter ends with a chapter of the manuscript. So you read about what Lowen's doing, and then it'll be chapter 1 of the manuscript, and it's Lowen reading Verity's manuscript. And so as you go along, you get more bits and pieces of the story of what has happened previously, and all the horrors that have fallen upon their family. And I love this book, because at the end of all of these chapters, it always left you on this cliffhanger of needing to know more. So I could not stop, couldn't put it down, because I just had to keep going, because it was like, oh my gosh, did that really happen? I need to know more. And so it was just a crazy ride. Very easy to read in one sitting. It did creep me out. It was very unsettling at points, and there were also points where I was like, this is very disturbing. What am I reading right now? Should I be reading this? And so I thought it was really, really good. Loved it. I am obsessed. It also has a little bit of romance in it, and it is definitely spooky. Not spooky, but creepy. I also love, in the end, it kind of leaves it up for you to decide what to believe, which I also liked, but also kind of stresses me out because I'm even more confused. But I don't know what else to say other than this book was amazing, and I just love the story and I'm obsessed with it, and there's not much else to say without giving spoilers. So if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend that you go read this immediately. I don't know what else to say about it other than my thoughts. So if you want to be mind blown and stressed out and feel very uneasy, I highly recommend picking up this book. The writing was so well done. It just left you on a suspenseful note every chapter, and it left you needing more, and it also left you believing what Lowen believes is going on, and really truly believing that Verity is not what she seems. So I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend reading this book. So, spoiler section is happening now. What the heck? Literally what the heck. So the whole time I'm reading this, I'm like, dang, Verity's awful. She hates her children and tried to murder Harper as an infant, and now you're telling me she did kill her child. And I just was like, oh. So, I'm going to tell you that I did figure things out before the ending. I didn't figure out the very, very end of it, but these are the things that I had predicted before I finished it. So I was only like 100 pages in. I I Snapchatted my friend and was like, okay, first off, I think that Verity definitely killed at least one of the kids. And I was like, she definitely drove herself into a tree. So as I'm reading this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is true. Because she's saying, you know, and then I was like, oh, Harper must have killed Chasten, which made Verity kill her, and then Verity tried to kill herself. And so I'm thinking all of this is correct because reading the manuscript, it's telling me all these things are correct, and I'm getting crazy about it. And so then at the very end, plot twist, she wrote a letter. Okay, they kill Verity. Okay, crazy. And then it turns out she says that she was writing this as like a writing method, and that none of those things actually happened. And Jeremy crashed the car hoping to kill Verity, and so then Verity was so scared that he would kill her again that she was faking her like brain damage, which I also thought was true because obviously Lowen's seeing her in the house. What really drove me crazy about this book is at the end, Lowen reads the letter and decides to just destroy it and go along with the fact that they have killed her and just pretend like, yeah, Verity killed her kid, and like just pretend like the confession of her not actually doing it never happened. So mind is blown. So Verity was innocent the whole time. And now I'm just like very stressed out and confused and upset. And also I started to think that Lowen was a little crazy as well. Just because she like does not care. And she let him get her pregnant. Like, that was just so, that was weird. Very weird when she was like, let me have his child so he'd be happy again. Creeped me out. Creeped me out. Also, Crew knew the whole time that she was fine because she was talking to him. And I just, this book was a lot. I felt kind of bad for Verity in the end of this. And I kind of didn't like Jeremy or Lowen by the end of this. I will say, in the middle of this book, I was starting to feel a little suspicious of Jeremy. Like, I just felt like he was off a little bit. And boy, was I right. He knew about it, and he also was kind of crazy. I just, like, felt like I was like, I know, he, like, he's got to have something up with him. He just seems, also, like, who falls in love with someone that quickly while your crippled, brain damaged wife is upstairs, you're like having an affair with another woman? Who does that? That's like normal. So I definitely was feeling very suspicious of Jeremy, and thought it was kind of odd that he got attached that quickly to Lowen. And I also thought it was kind of odd that he picked her. Like, he read her book and was the one who like asked for her to be the one to write it, and he says to her that, you know, like, he basically gives her what she needs to be able to take it. So I feel like that's kind of weird too. Like, he definitely had some kind of feelings about her, wanting her there before he ever brought her there. So I just felt very weird about Jeremy too during this book, because I did not like that, like, he moved on quickly, and I feel like it was a little set up by him for her to fall for him. And I kind of feel like Lowen was manipulated a little bit. Like, she definitely is, something's wrong with her too. But I also feel like she kind of like was manipulated by this family, and like not good. So crazy. So yeah, I did really like it. It was very disturbing, and I don't know what else to say. Truly, I have no words, because I'm shocked at this book. Like, what? Colleen Hoover, this was a masterpiece. I loved it. I literally read it in one day, basically, because it was so freaking good. That's all I have. This is really short, but like, oh my gosh, mind freaking blown. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.